Welcome to Everyday Speed Bumps.
We are Valentina.
And Andrea, and together we will dive in the unexpected pauses of our life journey.
So if you're navigating the twists and turns of life, join us as we share laughs, stories, and lessons from our everyday speed bumps.
Remember, there is always another speed bump ahead, but together we got this.
This is our first episode. Welcome,
Woo!
everyone. We're very proud. There's been a lot of work behind this first episode. So, if you want to share.
But we did it.
Yeah, you want to share some of the things that we learned, the things that we had to research, and everything that brought us to this moment.
Oh my God, buying microphones. We didn't know. We thought that the tech part was the easiest one. Valentina, no. Like people, no.
We watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Oh, gosh.
Lots of YouTube tutorials.
We thought that creating conversations was like the most difficult part. And we were like, okay, that part, we got it. We have it. We can start a podcast tomorrow. And it hasn't been like that. Just even deciding the name.
So it turns out we had a massive list of name options. So we would search whether they existed or not. I admire from that moment on the people that decide or choose the name of movies. It's so difficult. Every name exists.
Oh my God.
Every freaking name exists.
But
even if it has no content.
Literally.
It's there.
Even because you need to create social media accounts, you need to create email accounts, you need to create everything. And it's like, okay.
So everyday speed bumps refers to those situations in life that require you to stop, slow down, analyze the situation, reflect on what's happening before engaging in action. Just like when you're on the road where you have to hit the brakes, slow down, and go slower ahead of a speed bump, we see life in the same way, and we think there are situations that need to be approached in a similar way.
However, there are other days where you are with full speed and you don't see the signs around and you literally crash. And from that part, that darkness, that heavy part, you just need to continue the life path. You just need to continue driving despite having crashing, because you will not stay forever in the crash. And those moments are the moments that make you grow, reflect, and say, hey, life is not perfect, but we just need to continue.
And like Thea said before, the only thing that's certain is that there's always another speed bump ahead. Life is not linear. There's always challenges, situations, things that are unexpected that you didn't plan for. And the only option is just moving forward and embracing it, trying to find the best tools, trying to build a strong support system, and just hoping everything will be better after.
And after every speed bumps in life, become stronger. It builds who you are right now, and it's part of building the self that you want to be in the future. So I always say thank you to every speed bumps I've had in my life, because thanks to all those moments, some of them where I was able to pause, some of them where I have crashed, many, and I'm here sitting down with Valentina and building a dream.
Yes, especially because everyone has their reality, and no speed bump is too big and no speed bump is too irrelevant. Everyone's on a different level, and everyone has different experiences that need to be tackled with the same level of importance, I guess.
Exactly. Because sometimes we say, okay, why? I have even felt on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say, oh my God, that person is drama because of this small thing. And I'm like, hey, no. Maybe that thing is her big speed bump, but doesn't mean that your big speed bump is the same.
Yeah.
Because we all have different paths of life.
Yeah. And sometimes we even think our speed bumps are irrelevant, and we choose to suffer in silence. And that's something that we want to prove wrong here. We want to make everyone understand and accept that their speed bumps are as relevant as anyone else's speed bumps, whether they're big or they're small. But before we go into details,
exactly,
we haven't introduced ourselves. So Thea, go ahead.
So who am I? Let's say my name is Andrea, and people around me call me Thea. That's why Valentina always told me Thea.
Yeah.
I grew up being known as Thea. I'm Colombian from a city called a city named Barranquilla.
Where Shakira and Sofia Vergara are from.
She just need to say that
I
all
had
the
to.
time.
I had
That's
to.
why.
Also, Sofia Vergara went to her same school, hence the accent.
And I have been living in London for 5 years. I can't believe it. And it has been a ride. And thanks to London, I have started a path of growing, of healing, finding my true self, and being closer to be that woman that I want to be. And Vale, who are you?
I'm Valentina, something that I can't pronounce in English. There's no way I can say I'm Valentina from Venezuela with an English accent. It would be
I am
something like
Valentina.
I'm Valentina from
Tina.
Venezuela. That's not me. That's not
No,
me at all.
not at all.
So Valentina, I moved to London 4 years ago, and it's been such a journey of fears, of challenges, of you know not knowing what to expect and not knowing what the next step would be. That's something that we'll go into details on next episodes, where we're gonna open up about love, work,
Everything.
aspirations, fears, everything.
And we became friends. We met each other. Yeah, we met each other. Literally, Valentina, stop laughing. It's true.
I know, I
3
know.
years.
I always laugh whenever I think of that story because
That's the story.
I really that day I really didn't think we were gonna be as close.
No.
She was a little
Yeah, that's a big story. That's a story we'll share. And we met 3 years ago. Three? Yes. 3 years ago. And I can't believe, as Valentina said, that after 3 years, we are finally doing our podcast. We have been thinking about this for a long time, and I never thought that day where I met Valentina, in that moment, in that dinner, that party, etc., will be 3 years afterwards, sitting down in the couch, having couch conversations. And we have a strong belief that we, with our words, we can get to so many people. We have doubt from ourselves of doing this, but after a lot of thinking, etc.,
a lot of thinking. So just days before we started working on all the research and things were starting to become a lot more tangible and real, because sometimes you talk to a friend and you're like, yeah, let's start a podcast, and it never happens. But with this lady here, she makes it happen. Because I was like, yeah, someday, in the future, someday. Well, when it started getting real,
I started to be intense. I'm like, Valentina, we're doing a podcast.
yeah, and I was terrified to the point where I almost canceled everything and said, maybe find someone else. I don't have the what it takes to start a podcast. And I realized in the end, if I let others rule my life, I'm not gonna get to the place where I want to go.
Exactly. And we had many conversations about doing a podcast. This was not something that it just came from our mind from one day to another. But yeah, sometimes, as Valentina mentioned, sometimes it was just in our head bumping around. And many people around us started to say, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it, different people. And we're saying, you know what? Those are signs from the universe, and let's just do it. Let's just jump into it. And I can tell you, I am the happiest person ever to be sitting today with Valentina recording our first episode.
Especially when she decided to take it the extra mile and suggested we do it in English.
Oh my God.
Which is not our native language, obviously. We both have strong accents. Sometimes we struggle to find the right word.
Sometimes we invent the word.
Yeah, we make it up. So, maybe you'll start learning a new language here with us, or making it up.
But that's the funny thing of life. It's like, I forget the word, Valentina maybe have it, or I just invent one, and we'll get to you with the message. And that's an important part of it.
Yeah. And there are so many moments where people have tried to diminish our capacity because of our accent. And it just makes me laugh.
That's honestly part of our charm. We're a woman with accent. And
My sister would say, "Qué pena,
Yeah.
qué pena, Ming."
My sister is like, Andrea, por favor. Uh,
I'm actually very existential. That's something that you're gonna start understanding a lot in the other episodes. I believe that, we're born and eventually the only thing that's certain is that life will come to an end. And everything that happens in between becomes your story. And ever since I started looking at life that way, I decided that I'm gonna do everything that comes to my mind. No matter how difficult the idea would be, I'm just gonna go for it.
yeah, I'm more of a drama person. You'll find it out. I talk with the soul. I'm a drama queen. But I'm also a person that have invested a lot in my growth, in my healing journey, etc. And you'll see that during the different episodes. And I believe that everything that I've invested, all the speed bumps that I've passed through my life, I just want to share it to everyone and make you feel that you are not alone in this journey, that you have here two pals, Valentina and myself, with you, and just going in this life together. Because I have a big belief, and I tell always Valentina and everything. In life, there is a road with there are many speed bumps around, but the only thing that can makes life easier is the people that you are surrounded with. And maybe you are not here face to face, etc. Maybe you can be part of of this episode, or not this one, but like another episode after. But
Clearly not this one. You're not here.
yeah. But yeah, this setup
Here.
yeah, here. Hello. But together we'll support in this path and makes life better. And that's why we're
Yeah.
here.
So I had a moment of realization one day where someone posted on Instagram saying, not everyone deserves to have a podcast. And that really got me because we were in the process of, starting one. But then we thought, after moving to London, we've met so many random but interesting people that if you are of the belief that not everyone deserves to have a podcast, you must be listening to the wrong people, or, change podcasts because you're not their audience. Everyone deserves to have one. Everyone deserves to share their stories, share their lessons, share their struggles, share their, anything. Just share.
Everyone has a story to tell. Every story is valid. And every journey is wonderful, amazing, because you are living your life. And you can never imagine all the teachings, etc., that I've had from many people around me. Some are my friends, some about people that I literally just met one day for 2 minutes, or even where you are on the street and then you see someone and you start to chat, and it's like, okay, oh my God, I want this everyone to listen to this story because everyone can teach you in some way. And that's the nice part of life. It's just getting with people, talking and learning, and you never know.
And connecting.
And you never know where all of these can take you.
Yes. And another thing, going back to the conversation around fears, is that I think we're at a time where supporting others is cool. Like that makes you like a great person. When you're like, I don't think it's gonna work out, you shouldn't do it. I think that comes from a space of either jealousy or
being mean,
sadness.
Yeah,
Like,
like me.
why
Like, why?
why wouldn't you just support someone? So when I was terrified, I messaged my group chats of friends from Venezuela. And I was like, hey, I'm going to start a podcast with Thea. It's going to be around like these topics in English. And the reaction was like, go for it. You're going to smash it. That makes so much sense. I can see it. Let me know when the first episode goes live. You have my full support. Trust yourself. You were basically like born for this because we're such extroverts, really.
Yeah.
We're not really shy at all, and pretty loud.
Really loud.
In Spanish mostly. When you find a group of people that support you, that's awesome.
And with all the fears of starting even the podcast, of just saying like, what are we gonna talk about? We just decided to, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just record it and just share our couch conversations with everyone. And then one day we sat down and we're like, okay, let's see if we have at least topics to talk about. I think in less than a minute, we created a list of like 30, 30
Yeah.
topics. And it was like, okay, yeah, you know what? There's a lot to talk.
Yeah, someone asked us the other day whether we were doing research around, the trends and what people are talking about, and we're like,
Okay, you know
we got so much to talk before we get to that stage where we need to research to find ideas, because we can really talk about anything.
everything,
Yeah.
anything, whatever. Here you will see the most deep topics. We will laugh here. We can cry. We can even be mad about each other sometimes in the podcast.
It's not going to be an interview type of format. It's more of just a casual conversation,
Couch
inviting friends
conversation.
over,
Couch
sitting here, talking about life. And yeah,
imagine you sitting on a couch with your friends with a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, and just talking about life. It will be that. Because what we said before, and one of the big things that we're here today, is that everyone has a story to tell.
And I think what excites me the most is to prove myself wrong. That's, I think, an addictive feeling. It's something that you want to repeat over and over and over when everyone, or even yourself, is telling you you can't do it, and then you do it, and it's like,
someone tells us like, oh yeah, why are you doing it, whatever, we're like, leave us, I'm getting ready. Because we will prove you wrong, because I know we're made for amazing things, for achieving our dreams, achieving our goals, and this is one. So when you do things with this passion, with this excitement, enjoying every part of this, because I think this journey has been about this, you will get to where you want to be. And here today, us with our podcast, and each one of you with your own dreams, goals, etc.
So I'm gonna tell an anecdote, and I think my mom's gonna hate me for this.
Tell it.
But when I was in uni, I was joining Model UN, which is like a debate competition sort of, and it's in English. So we had to go through auditions, and I told my mom ahead of the audition. She used to be an English teacher for kids. Mom, you want to practice with me? And she was like, yeah, sure, let's practice. We were talking, catching up, she would ask me questions, I would respond. And after a few ones, she's like, do you think this is a good idea? Maybe try something different.
Gaby's Vale's mom. She will be sitting down here.
And she has the best soul, but she was really genuine. When someone really is like, you have other skills where you're better at, or maybe try a sport rather than this debate competition. And I still went for it. It was such
such
an experience.
Learning from yourself, proving yourself that you can do it. And just say here for Gaby, she's a person that supports you the most in everything. You can call her at any time, she'll be there. I love Valentina's mom with all my heart. We're good friends. Sometimes I talk a lot more with Gaby than with Valentina, and that's hard to say.
I just happen to be the daughter.
Yeah, literally. And but you prove yourself.
And she even learned something. Like, it's not only me where I proved myself, I can do it, and I'm not going to stop, because even someone as close as my mother thought at the moment that the best thing was not to do it. But she even learned something where she's like, she made it, she performed well, and she can do whatever she wants to do.
And here it comes, not with this, but like anyone in the world can crush with their words, or just discouraging you, etc. Crush your goals, because you are the owner of your own life path.
Yeah, you write your story in the end, and the way people are going to remember you, or the way you're going to feel about the things you do and the things you try and the experiences that you gain, is determined by only you. And fear is a massive enemy.
Exactly. Yeah, but we are here facing one of our big fears, and one of the things that when we have people that want to join us in Everyday Speed Bumps podcast. And if any of you want to join us, free to you are free to email us, send us a message on our social media accounts, and just say, hey, you know what? I want to share my story. I want to talk with you girls about, I don't know, except whatever topic you want to. And you always have a space here because everyone has a story to tell. And just as a opening of what's coming in the next episodes, tell things that you have learned about your mayor teachings.
There was a moment in my life where I decided that what surrounds me doesn't define me. So if my parents were going through a situation, or my siblings, or close friends, or people would say stuff about me or try to judge me or label me in a certain way, I stopped and I was like, I'm going to look from the side, because even though they think I'm that, I know I'm not.
Exactly.
Or even though they were this way, I'm not that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that's been huge for me, because now I can feel their emotions from a distance rather than letting them control my thoughts, control my perception of myself, control so many things. Another thing that's been super useful for me,
just to say that on that part, Vale, I want to bump in, and I love how you say it, because that's one of the big things that I've been working out in life, because sometimes when you talk with someone and their story can really hit you, and when it's someone that is close to you as your family member, it can really crush you. And in those speed bumps, it might not be your specific speed bump in your life, but those are paths that come in the middle, and you need to find a way, pause, reflect, and say, hey, that's your life, but I can be able to take a U-turn, not a U-turn, take an S-turn and go.
and to live your own life, not live through other people's experience.
You can accompany the other person and support the other person, but you also deserve for you to build your own path, build your own happiness. And if one day she's having a bad day, or any of you is having like a hard day, yeah, I'm there with you. I can be there with you. Sometimes I can cry with you if I see you crying. But you know what? I also can laugh because I'm also having at the same time a happy day. So that's what it is. And everyone in their own path, in their own goals, everyone has a space to feel, a space to create their own way.
Yeah. And also that happiness and negative emotions can coexist.
Exactly.
You don't need to be like, I'm feeling sad today, so that means I'm not going to stay positive or be happy. No, you can experience both at the same time. So I can feel sad knowing that everything's going to get better.
Exactly.
I can feel sad knowing that this moment of sadness refers to a specific area of my life, but everything else is stable. Everything else gives me joy.
That's true. And what I was saying, there is always light at the end of the tunnel. If you are going for having a bad day, a bad moment, a bad experience, a bad days, things will not always stay like that. That's a speed bump, maybe a bigger speed bump, but hey, it will at the end continue. Life is not just like no, or just no. Life is like a path, and you're like, let's continue. Sometimes it's a small one, sometimes it's a huge one.
And this is no rocket science. Like, we're not saying anything that's like, but we block ourselves from accepting, positive advice, or from looking at the bright side, that sometimes it really takes, many repetitions for you to sink it in and be like, I'm going to apply it. Because sometimes we sabotage ourselves.
Sometimes we need to repeat to ourselves things. And even for us, doing this podcast is that. It's not only talking to you guys and all of our listeners, but it's also talking to ourselves. And because we have had this conversation many times, but sometimes, you know what? I needed to listen that. Although I know it, but I needed to listen it. Yeah. It's like a refresher of mind.
And we all have that friend that's constantly repeating, crying about the same situation, like, I don't know what to do, this is happening, this, over and over, week after week. You give them the advice, they don't apply it, they keep crying, they keep coming to you, to a point where it's like a pattern that's not positive at all. But how many times have we been that friend?
Many times. Sometimes I'm like, okay, you know what? And I've been saying this too much to my friend about this thing, but you know what? Let's just stop it. And sometimes you don't even realize that you are doing it. But then when someone, a friend, comes here and tells me, hey, you know what? You have been complaining about this much. What are you gonna do about it? And that's what life is. Life takes you to paths. Life takes you to situations that you say, okay, until you learn it, until you learn the teaching from this one, it will not leave you. So maybe you see a speed bump and then maybe you didn't see there is a red light. You didn't see it, crash. And then you continue. There's that same red light saying, hey, a speed bump is coming. And then you are like, crash again until you finally see the red light. And then that red light will be, yeah, you see it, you take the teaching for it, you say thank you, because there is, from every teaching, from every experience, you learn something. So I'm always a big believer of saying thank you and to continue to go to the next learning.
Yeah. But it's also painful when you need to reach a point where you make a fool of yourself to learn the lesson. It's like, why did I have to get to this point? And I think after you make a fool of yourself a few times, you start really understanding the importance of pausing, the importance of, breaking patterns, of changing the way you do things if you didn't like the outcome of the way you tackled a certain situation the previous time. And learning, researching, reading, gaining tools, talking to people, hearing stories, and absorbing as much positive tools that you can.
I really like when you mentioned breaking patterns, because that's what we're doing here. We're breaking a pattern, and we're saying, hey, when things repeat you all the time, you need to break it. Or if it's a bad thing, actually. Good things, yeah, let's keep coming. But when they're like that, breaking patterns and taking the teaching to just continue. I really like it.
And sometimes it's scary because obviously breaking patterns comes with getting out of your comfort zone, jumping into something it's taking a leap of faith, just hoping that this change that you make in your life will be positive and won't bring you back to whatever you were living or experiencing.
It's jumping to the unknown. And even we are doing it here with Everyday Speed Bumps podcast. We are here jumping to the unknown because we don't know what is coming from all of this. We just know that we're here bringing a pattern of fear, of sitting down with our two microphones and with you guys about talking about life. So it's a journey.
Equally important because, in the end, this has no risk.
Not at all.
The worst thing that could happen is that a few of you guys could have a nice day making fun of us or laughing. That's great. And another scenario could be that no one listens to it. Which is fine because we were listening to it.
Yeah. we have literally be sitting here in this couch with Valentina and talking about life. It's therapy for me.
It's therapy. It's practicing English.
Also.
It's so many positive things. We have nice microphones. They change
colors.
The color of the light. So maybe, another day we'll use
other
tones. At first I was like that. Maybe we use it depending on our emotions. So like on a sad day, we go for blue.
Like
on a happy day. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm taking my sadness. Maybe. Looking here like multicolorish, like happiness. Oh my God. Oh yeah, we're doing this.
It's happening. First of many. And I can wait for, after a time and a few episodes on the way just to look back and be like, wow, that was such a learning curve. Because obviously you can't wait until everything's perfectly set up, until everything's, at it's 100%, until everything makes you feel comfortable to start something, because you're never going to start it. You're never going to start it.
There is never the perfect time. to start. The perfect time is actually now. That's what I say.
Yeah.
You will never have everything perfect because you'll always find something to get better at it with. So today's our perfect day.
Yeah. We were talking to a podcaster the other day, just, sharing
A
like
bit
a
of
few
stories.
ideas and asking for advice and stuff. And he was like, oh no, don't do it at home. You need sound blocking systems and stuff. Or
Lights.
lights. You need to put a few lights behind the
Like-
sofa, like behind the couch, so it looks brighter and bigger. And, so many, you need to, that we were like, I mean, advice taken.
Yeah.
At some point
Yeah,
we'll
have the
we'll
lights.
have all these things.
All these lights.
But for now, all we have is microphones, a living room, a nice person to chat to, and you guys. And that's really all it takes to overcome everyday speed bumps.
Yeah, just be here doing it. And what I told you before, surround yourself with amazing people and make your dreams come true. And this is what we're doing here in Everyday Speed Bumps.
Yes, I mean, like I said before, we're not shy. We're loud. I freaking love, like, never invite me to karaoke because I'll take full ownership of the microphone. So it's great. I have my own. She has her own. We don't need to share. That always
Perfect.
helps.
Yeah.
Also, we want to clarify that this is a shared space. We have no intention of, just having a monologue of the two of us. So if you have any story you want to share, an interesting topic, idea, experience, you're always welcome to join us here on our couch and be a part of the conversation. Let's do it both ways.
And also, if maybe you don't want to join us and be here in front of camera, etc., we understand you. But you want us to talk about a specific topic that for you find useful, just send it to us on a message or an email, and we'll talk about it.
Yes. So let's start the conversation. Do follow, subscribe, and let's stay in touch.
And join us in every social media account. We'll give you content all around.
Great. See you on the next episode.
And thank you for listening to us. And welcome to Everyday Speed Bumps.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.